20 legendary games that deserve all the hype they got. Uncharted 4. Uncharted 4 was probably the most thrilling 12 hours of my life. Everything about this game felt perfect, at least to me. I really love the Uncharted series so much, man. Uncharted 4 is one of the best adventure games ever made. It's not just about shooting bad guys or finding treasure, it's about going on a big, crazy journey that feels like a movie. The kind of game where every moment makes you say, wow, that was awesome. You play as Nathan Drake, a man who used to go on wild treasure hunts, but now he has a normal life. No more danger, no more running for his life, just peace. But then something happens and he gets pulled back in for one last adventure. And this time it feels bigger and more important than ever. It's not just about gold or treasure maps. It's about his past, his future, and the people he loves. And let me tell you, the gameplay is so fun. The climbing feels smooth, the shooting is satisfying, and the stealth parts make you feel like a real treasure hunter. And then they added a grappling hook. Oh man, it changes everything. You can swing across cliffs, escape enemies, and jump into fights like a total action hero. It makes every chase scene feel even more insane. Speaking of insane, the set pieces in this game are unbelievable. One moment you're exploring a lost city, then boom, you're sliding down a collapsing mountain, then suddenly you're in one of the best chase scenes in gaming history, jumping between cars, dodging explosions, and hanging onto a rope while being dragged through the mud. It's pure chaos in the best way possible. But here's what makes Uncharted 4 really special. It's not just action. The story is so good. The characters feel real. They laugh, they argue, they feel human. You care about them. The game makes you think about what's really important in life: treasure, adventure, or the people you love. And the ending? Perfect. It's one of the most satisfying endings in gaming. It doesn't feel forced, it doesn't feel rushed, it just feels right. This game deserves all the hype. The action is amazing, the story is emotional, and the whole thing just feels so special. If you haven't played it yet, what are you waiting for? Go play it now. You're in for an incredible adventure. Hogwarts Legacy. This game is a dream come true for anyone who ever wanted to step inside the wizarding world. Hogwarts Legacy isn't just another game. It's a full-blown magical adventure that puts you right in the middle of it all. You don't play as Harry Potter or any of the usual characters. This is your story. You create your own student, pick a house, and explore Hogwarts on your own terms. But this isn't just about attending classes and waving a wand. You start as a 5th year, already behind in magical training, but with a special connection to an ancient power that others are after. The story feels big, like you're uncovering something that was hidden for centuries, and every step deeper into the mystery makes the journey feel even more rewarding. The world is huge. Hogwarts itself is packed with secret rooms, moving staircases, and hidden details that make the whole place feel alive. Paintings whisper, books fly off shelves, and ghosts casually float through hallways while students go about their day. And it doesn't stop at the castle. The Forbidden Forest is out there, full of dark creatures and mysteries. Hogsmeade is waiting, filled with magical shops and warm, glowing lights. The world is so big and open that sometimes it's hard to believe this is actually a video game. And the best part? You can fly anywhere. Riding a broomstick across the hills and rivers never gets old. The wind rushes past, the view stretches for miles, and it feels like complete freedom. Combat is serious fun. This isn't just simple wand waving. Spells hit hard, enemies fly through the air, slam into walls, and explode in flashes of magic. Every fight feels intense, and every spell combo feels satisfying. There's even a choice to learn the dark arts, including spells that should probably never be cast, but the game leaves that up to you. Be a noble wizard or go full dark mage, the path is yours. Every decision in this game feels meaningful. The friendships you build, the side stories you experience, and the choices you make all add up, making it feel like a personal journey instead of just another fantasy story. Hogwarts Legacy lived up to the hype. The world is stunning, the magic feels real, and the adventure is one that sticks with you. Anyone who grew up wishing they could go to Hogwarts needs to experience this. It's one of the most immersive games ever made. Final Fantasy VII Remake. This game is a legend reborn. The original Final Fantasy VII was one of the most beloved games ever, and FF7 Remake somehow managed to take that classic and turn it into something even more epic. This isn't just an upgraded version of an old game, it's a full reimagining, rebuilt from the ground up with stunning visuals, deep combat, and a story that hits even harder than before. The world of Midgar has never felt more alive. The city is huge, dark, and full of energy. Neon lights glow over the slums, massive metal plates stretch over the sky, and every corner of the world feels detailed and real. The streets are packed with people going about their lives, and just walking through the city makes you feel like you're part of something bigger. And the combat, absolutely incredible. It's not turn-based like the original, it's fast, fluid, and insanely fun. Every fight feels like a mix of action and strategy. You're dodging attacks, slicing through enemies with Cloud's massive buster sword, switching between characters on the fly, and pulling off special moves that feel powerful every single time. It's a perfect balance of classic Final Fantasy mechanics and modern action gameplay, and it makes every battle feel intense. But the biggest reason FF7 Remake stands out is the storytelling. The characters are so well written that you actually care about them. Cloud, Tifa, Barret, Aerith, they all feel real and their personalities shine in every scene. The game takes the original story and expands it in ways that make it even more emotional. You get to see so much more of Midgar, the people struggling under Shinra's rule, and the small moments that make this world feel alive. And the music? Pure magic. The original soundtrack was already legendary, but these remade versions take it to a whole new level. The battle theme, the emotional piano tracks, the epic orchestral moments. It's perfection. FF7 Remake is more than just nostalgia. It's a love letter to the original, but also a bold new take that feels fresh and exciting. The action, the story, the visuals, everything feels right. Even if you never played the original, this game is an incredible experience from start to finish. A game like this doesn't just deserve hype, it demands it, and it absolutely delivers. Elden Ring. This game is huge. Elden Ring isn't just another open world game, it's something special. It takes everything that made Dark Souls great and amplifies it, dropping you into a massive world that feels like it goes on forever. Every mountain, every ruin, every dark cave, it's all waiting to be explored, and the best part? The game doesn't tell you what to do, you figure it out. From the moment you step into the lands between, you feel small. The world is ancient, broken, full of lost kingdoms and powerful enemies. You see a giant glowing tree in the sky, a castle in the distance, and a knight on horseback ready to destroy you in 2 seconds. This game doesn't hold your hand, it throws you into danger and lets you learn by surviving. And the combat, brutal and amazing. Every fight is intense, you don't just button mash, you time your attacks, dodge at the perfect moment, and land a hit that actually matters. Every boss is a test of patience and skill, and when you finally win after dozens of tries, the feeling is unreal. But the best part? Freedom. There's no one telling you to go here or do this quest. You choose where to go, who to fight, and how to play. Want to ride off into the wild and fight dragons? Do it! Want to sneak through a dangerous castle and steal loot? Go ahead. Want to spend hours farming runes and leveling up? Totally fine. The game lets you play your way. And the world? Breathtaking. One moment you're exploring a golden field with sunlight breaking through the trees, the next you're deep underground in a lost city with glowing stars above you. Every area feels different and every place hides secrets. You never know what's coming next, and that's what makes it so addicting. This game deserves every bit of hype it got. It's not just an open world game, it's one of the greatest adventures ever made. Yakuza 0. Yakuza 0 is not just a crime story, not just an action game, it's a mix of everything, and somehow it all works perfectly. One moment you're in a serious, emotional gangster drama, the next you're in a karaoke bar singing your heart out, then suddenly you're breakdancing in the streets, running a cabaret club, or fighting a gang of thugs with a bicycle. And that's what makes this game special. It never takes itself too seriously, but when it does, it hits hard. The story is amazing. You play as two characters, Kazuma Kiryu and Goro Majima, two men caught up in the dangerous world of the Japanese underworld. Kiryu is a young, serious guy who wants to prove himself but ends up getting framed for something he didn't do. Majima, on the other hand, is trapped in a world he can't escape. trying to earn his way back into the Yakuza. Their stories connect in ways that keep you hooked, and every twist keeps getting better. The combat is so damn fun. It's a beat 'em up where you just smash enemies into the pavement, and it never gets old. Kiryu and Majima each have multiple fighting styles, and switching between them mid-fight makes every battle feel fresh. Wanna punch people with brute force? Go for it. Wanna use crazy acrobatics and spin kick thugs into trash cans? Majima's got you covered. The game lets you fight your way, and every hit feels powerful. But the real magic is the side content. This game is packed with things to do. You can play arcade games, run a business, go bowling, race toy cars, gamble, or just roam around beating up random street punks for cash. And the side stories? Some of the funniest, most ridiculous moments in gaming. One minute you're helping a guy win back his stolen pants, the next you're training a shy dominatrix to be more confident. And somehow, despite all the silliness, the game still manages to tell a serious, emotional story. The acting is top tier, the drama feels real, and the characters are unforgettable. One second you're laughing, the next you're sitting there stunned by an intense moment. Few games balance emotion and absurdity as well as this one. Yakuza 0 is one of the greatest prequels ever made. The combat is fun, the story is top notch, and the world is alive with things to do. Whether you're here for the serious crime drama or just want to do dumb side quests for hours, this game deserves all the hype. Bloodborne. From the very start, Bloodborne throws you into a nightmare world that only gets worse the deeper you go. The city of Yharnam is like a bad dream. Streets are filled with monsters, the sky looks wrong, and the people, they're even worse than the beasts. Everything feels sick, cursed, and ready to kill you at any moment. The more you explore, the more you realize that something terrible is hiding beneath it all. The combat is pure chaos. You can't hide behind a shield, you have to move, dodge, and attack before the enemy rips you apart. If you take damage, the game gives you a small window to hit back and get your health back. It forces you to stay aggressive, to keep fighting even when you're scared. Every battle feels like survival, and every win feels like a huge victory. The weapons are insane. A sword that turns into a giant hammer, a cane that transforms into a spiked whip, a spinning saw that shreds enemies apart. Every weapon has two forms, and switching between them in battle makes you feel like a beast hunter from hell. And the bosses? Some of the scariest, most brutal fights ever made. Giant creatures that scream as they charge at you. Twisted monsters that move in ways that don't feel normal, and things that shouldn't even exist. Every boss fight is a test of skill and patience, and when you finally win, the feeling is incredible. But the real magic of Bloodborne is how the story unfolds. It starts as a hunt for beasts, then it slowly turns into something much bigger. The deeper you go, the more the world changes. You stop fighting just werewolves and madmen, now you're facing things that come from beyond reality. Creatures so powerful that just seeing them is dangerous. The game never explains everything, it leaves pieces for you to figure out, and the more you understand, the more horrifying everything becomes. The world feels massive, but it's not empty. Every place has its own dark secrets, a forgotten church, a hidden village, a sunken city filled with horrors. It's all connected in ways that make you feel like you're uncovering something ancient and forbidden. And the music? Terrifying! Every track makes your heart race. Whether you're walking through a foggy graveyard or fighting for your life, the music makes everything feel 10 times more intense. Bloodborne is not just a game, it's an experience that gets inside your head and stays there. The combat is brutal, the world is disturbing, and the story gets darker the more you think about it. It's the kind of game you'll never forget. Rise of the Tomb Raider. This game is a real adventure. It takes you to dangerous places, makes you fight to survive, and lets you explore ancient tombs filled with secrets. If you ever wanted to feel like a real treasure hunter, this game makes it happen. Lara Croft is stronger than ever. She's not just looking for treasure, she's on a mission to uncover the truth behind an ancient secret. She travels to frozen mountains, deep forests, and lost cities, all while being hunted by a powerful group that will do anything to stop her. The story is full of action and keeps you moving forward, making every step feel important. The world is huge and beautiful. Snow-covered mountains, dark caves, hidden temples. Everywhere you go, there's something to find. You can climb, swim, and explore every corner, and the game rewards you for looking around. There are tombs filled with puzzles, secret artifacts, and lost writings that tell the story of an ancient civilization. The more you explore, the more you learn about the world And the combat feels fast and powerful. Lara doesn't just use guns, she has a bow, knives, and traps to take down enemies in smart ways. The survival elements make everything feel real. You hunt animals, craft weapons, and gather resources to stay alive. The cold can be deadly, and the game makes you feel like you're actually fighting the elements. And the graphics? Absolutely stunning. Every snowflake, every fire, every piece of ancient stone looks real. Whether you're climbing a frozen cliff or sneaking through a dark jungle, the game pulls you in completely. Rise of the Tomb Raider is one of the best in the entire series and absolutely worth playing for everyone. Hades. Hades takes the fast combat of an action game, the random surprises of a roguelike, and the amazing storytelling of a great RPG, and mixes them into something incredible. You play as Zagreus, the son of Hades who wants to escape from the underworld. But it's not easy. The underworld is full of monsters, traps, and powerful bosses that try to stop you. Every time you die, you start all over again, but you get stronger each time. You learn from your mistakes, get better weapons, and find new ways to fight. The combat is fast and fun. You can use a sword, a bow, a shield, a spear, or even twin fists to smash enemies. Every weapon feels unique and you can upgrade them in different ways. The game makes every fight exciting and no two runs feel the same, but the best part? The gods help you. Zeus, Athena, Poseidon, they all give you special boons that change how you fight. One run, your attacks might shoot lightning, the next your dodge might turn you invisible. The game lets you experiment and try different combos, which makes every escape attempt fresh. And the story, so good. Every time you die, you go back to Hades' house and talk to the gods, the spirits, and even your own father who never believes in you. The characters feel alive, and every conversation tells you more about the world. It never feels boring because the story keeps moving even when you fail. The art style is beautiful, the music is epic, the voice acting is perfect. Every part of this game feels like it was made with love. Hades deserves all the hype. The combat is amazing, the story pulls you in, and every run feels like a new challenge. Even when you lose, you just want to try again. That's what makes it one of the best games ever made. Undertale. Some games are fun, some games are smart. Undertale is both, but it's also something more. It plays with your expectations, it remembers what you do, and it makes every choice feel like it matters. At first, it looks like an old school RPG. You're just a kid who falls into an underground world full of monsters. But then you realize something. You don't have to fight. You can talk, joke, flirt, or just refuse to hurt anyone. And if you do attack, the game remembers. Even if you reset, it still knows what you did. The characters are what make this game special. A skeleton who won't stop cracking jokes, a warrior who takes everything way too seriously, a scientist who's way too nervous to say what she really feels. Every single one has a story, and the more time you spend with them, the harder it is to leave them behind. Battles aren't like other RPGs. Instead of just picking an attack, you actually dodge enemy moves in a tiny bullet hell minigame. One enemy throws bones at you, another makes you dance through their attack patterns, and some fights completely break the rules in ways you don't see coming. But the best part is that Undertale makes you feel something. You can play it like a normal RPG, or you can go deeper, see how your choices shape the world, how the game reacts, how it pushes back. It knows when you're playing with it, and it never forgets. It's clever, hilarious, emotional, and completely unpredictable. No two people experience it the same way. It's not just a game, it's an experience that sticks with you long after you stop playing. Doom 2016. Doom doesn't waste time, no long cutscenes, no slow tutorials, just pure, non-stop action from the second you start. You wake up on a slab, rip a demon apart with your bare hands, grab a shotgun, and the slaughter begins. Every fight is fast, brutal, and chaotic. You don't hide behind cover, you don't wait for your health to recover, you run straight into the fight, dodging fireballs, jumping over enemies, and blasting demons into bloody chunks. The more aggressive you play, the better you do. Hesitation gets you killed. And the weapons? Perfect. Every gun feels powerful, from the classic shotgun to the heavy-hitting Gauss cannon. And then there's the glory kills, brutal finishing moves that let you rip demons apart with style. The game rewards you for getting up close and personal, keeping the pace insanely fast. The soundtrack is pure chaos. Heavy guitars, pounding drums, and music that makes every battle feel like a metal concert in hell. It keeps the adrenaline going and makes you feel like an unstoppable beast. And the best part? The game knows what it is. No forced drama, no slow moments. It's just you, a pile of weapons, and an army of demons that need to die. Every level pushes you forward, throwing tougher enemies and bigger arenas at you, but never slowing down. What Remains of Edith Finch. Imagine going back to your childhood home only to realize that every member of your family has a tragic story. That's what Remains of Edith Finch feels like. You play as Edith Finch, the last of the Finch family, and you return to a strange old house filled with secrets and memories. The house itself is a character. It's filled with rooms that haven't changed in years, with old furniture and photographs that tell stories about people who aren't around anymore. As Edith, you explore the house, walking through rooms that were locked away, discovering little bits of each family member's life. It's like uncovering a family's past, piece by piece. What makes the game different from others is how it tells each family member's story. It's not the same way every time, it changes. One moment you're reading a comic book and the pictures inside come to life. The next you're a baby in a bathtub learning how to splash around. Or you're a young girl pretending to be a bird flying through a forest. Every story feels fresh and new, like the game is constantly surprising you with how it shows the past.
I started choking.
These stories are sad and beautiful. They show each person's dreams, their love, and the way they lived. But they also show the dark side, what happened to them, and how their lives ended. It's not just about learning facts, it's about feeling what these people went through, even if it was a long time ago. The game doesn't just tell you what happened, it makes you feel it. Each family member's death is tied to how they lived, and the game never holds back from showing the hard truths. You don't just hear the story, you live it, and by the end you realize how deep the impact of family can be. And that ending, man, it's really twisted. I don't know how to describe it, but just play the game. It's just something that can only be experienced yourself, and you can easily finish the game in 2-3 hours. So go for it. It's powerful. It's the kind of ending that leaves you thinking, feeling like you've just experienced something you won't forget. It's not a big explosion or dramatic twist. It's real, and it sticks with you long after you've finished.
I can already imagine the sun on my face.
Control. Walking into the Federal Bureau of Control feels like stepping into a place that shouldn't exist. The walls shift, rooms appear and disappear, and reality bends in ways that don't make sense. Control throws you into a world where the laws of physics are broken and nothing feels safe. You play as Jessie Faden, a woman searching for answers about her past. She arrives at the Bureau's headquarters, a massive building called the Oldest House, only to find it nearly abandoned. The people inside, either missing, dead, or floating mid-air like they're stuck in a nightmare. A strange force called the Hiss has taken over, corrupting everything, and it's up to Jessie to fight back and take control. Combat is fast and wild. Jessie isn't just shooting enemies, she has superpowers. She can lift objects with her mind and hurl them across the room, create a shield out of rubble, or even float in mid-air. Every fight turns into a chaotic mess of explosions, debris, and enemies flying across the room. The more powers you unlock, the more you feel like a true force of destruction. And the building itself, it's alive. One minute you're walking down an office hallway, the next the walls twist and reshape themselves, leading you somewhere completely different. The whole game feels like a maze that's constantly shifting, hiding secrets, hidden documents, and strange objects with insane powers. One object might let you teleport, another could cause weird time loops, and some are too dangerous to even touch. The story is deep and mysterious. It doesn't explain everything to you, instead it gives you pieces of the puzzle, and it's up to you to put them together. The world feels like there's so much more happening beneath the surface, with stories hidden in notes, audio logs, and strange video recordings scattered throughout the Bureau. The sound design? Creepy as hell. Whispers echo through the halls, machines hum in the distance, and sometimes you hear things that shouldn't be there. And then there's the Ashtray Maze, one of the best levels in gaming. Walls open and close around you while rock music blasts through the speakers, and suddenly you're in one of the most insane, mind-bending action sequences ever made. Control is unlike any other game. It feels strange, exciting, and completely unpredictable. The combat is smooth, the story keeps you curious, and the world feels massive and full of secrets. Nier Automata. Some games are fun, some are deep, and then there are games like Nier Automata that make you feel something you didn't expect. At first it looks like a stylish action game about androids fighting robots, but the more you play, the more you realize it's so much more. You control 2B, a battle android sent to Earth to destroy machines. Humanity has been forced to the moon and the androids are fighting to take the planet back. That's the mission at least. But as you keep going, things start to feel wrong. The enemies, these lifeless machines, aren't acting like mindless killers. Some seem scared, some are trying to build villages, families, even their own way of life. The deeper you go, the more the story pulls you in. The gameplay is so fast and smooth. You slice through enemies with dual swords, shoot from a floating robot, dodge at the last second, and unleash insane attacks. It feels perfect, like you're always in control, always one step ahead. But then, suddenly, the game changes styles. One moment it's a third-person action game, the next you're flying a spaceship in a bullet hell shooter. Sometimes the camera locks into a top-down or side-scrumping view, turning the game into something completely different. It never feels repetitive, always keeping you on edge. And then there's the music, one of the greatest soundtracks ever made. Every track feels like it was made for a story that doesn't have a happy ending. Some songs are haunting, some are intense, and some hit so hard emotionally that they stay in your head long after you stop playing. But the real magic of Nier Automata is the way it tells its story. One playthrough is not enough. The game wants you to see things from different sides, to question everything you thought was true. With every new ending, you see more of the bigger picture, and by the time you reach the true ending, you realize the game has been playing with your expectations the whole time. It's not just about androids versus machines, it's about what it means to exist, about life, about choices, about whether anything we do really matters. Few games go this deep. Nier Automata is a masterpiece. It's stylish, emotional, thought-provoking, and completely unique. It starts as an action game, but turns into something much bigger, much more important. This game didn't just deserve the hype, it deserved to be remembered forever. Zelda Breath of the Wild. Some games give you quests, waypoints, and a map full of things to do. Breath of the Wild gives you a world and complete freedom. From the moment you step out of the cave, there's nothing holding you back. No one tells you where to go, what to do, or how to play. You just explore, and the world reacts to you in ways no other game does. Climb any mountain, swim across any river, glide through the skies, nothing stops you. If you see something in the distance, you can go there. A ruined castle, a snowy peak, a glowing shrine far away. It's all waiting for you to discover. Trees sway in the wind, animals roam freely, storms roll in unexpectedly, everything feels real. And the best part, there's no right way to play. You can charge straight to the final boss with just a stick, or spend hundreds of hours cooking, hunting, and solving puzzles in hidden shrines. You don't just unlock new abilities, you experiment. Fire burns grass, metal attracts lightning, bombs can launch objects into the air. The game doesn't just give you tools, it lets you break the rules in the best way possible. Combat is fast and fluid. You can parry attacks, dodge at the last second for a slow motion counter, or just drop a boulder on an enemy from a cliff. Weapons break, so you're always looking for new ones, making every battle feel unpredictable. And then there's the story, told in fragments, through memories, ruins, and quiet moments. It's not a traditional Zelda story, it's about a fallen kingdom, a hero waking up after 100 years, and a world that's already lost the war. But in that broken world, there's still hope. You piece together what happened at your own pace, making the journey feel personal.
You must save her, my daughter.
Shadow of the Colossus. This is a quiet, powerful game. There are no towns, no people, no small enemies, just you, your horse, and the giants you must defeat. The world is empty and lonely. You play as Wander, a young man who brings a girl named Mono to a forbidden land. She is gone, but he wants to bring her back. A mysterious voice tells him that if he defeats 16 colossi, he can save her. With only a sword and a bow, you set off into the unknown. The colossi are huge. Some walk like giants, some fly in the sky, some swim in the water. Each one is like a moving puzzle. You have to figure out how to climb them, find their weak spots, and strike. There are no health bars or flashy attacks, just you holding on for your life as the Colossus tries to shake you off. The fights feel big and important. When you finally take one down, the music changes, the world goes silent, and something doesn't feel right. You start to wonder, are you doing the right thing? The game never tells you, but you feel it. The world is huge and empty, but not boring. There are mountains, deserts, waterfalls, and ruins, all quiet, waiting for you to pass through. The game doesn't give you waypoints or guides, you just ride, explore, and feel the world around you. The graphics are simple but beautiful, the music is soft and sad, then loud and epic when you fight. The story doesn't say much, but it makes you think and feel. Shadow of the Colossus is not about talking or collecting things, it's about feeling small in a giant world, about fighting creatures that don't seem like villains, and about what happens when you go too far for something you love. Red Dead Redemption 2. Some games are big, and then there are games like Red Dead Redemption 2, games that pull you in so deep that you forget you're even playing. This isn't just about cowboys, shootouts, or open world freedom. It's about life, choices, and watching everything around you slowly fall apart. You are Arthur Morgan, an outlaw with a rough past, a sharp gun, and a heart that's heavier than he lets on. He rides with the Vanderlyn Gang, a group that's not just criminals, they're a family. A group of people running from a world that no longer has a place for them. At first, they're holding onto the dream of freedom, of living outside the rules. But dreams don't last forever. The world is changing, the law is closing in, and trust inside the gang is breaking apart. At first, Arthur is just another outlaw, but as you ride through the game, through long nights under the stars, cold mornings by the fire, and bloody afternoons in town shootouts, you start to see who he really is. A man trying to hold onto something that's already slipping through his fingers. A man who's spent his life running from the truth, until he doesn't have the time to run anymore.
I shall try.
I know you will.
And it has already been said a million times, man, the world of Red Dead 2 is the most breathtaking. It doesn't just look real, it feels real. The way the sun breaks over the mountains, the way the rain soaks the dirt roads, the way the wind moves through the trees. Towns aren't just locations, they're like a real world. You see people working, talking, fighting, laughing. You can stop in a saloon, play a game of poker, rob a train, hunt a bear, or just ride into the wild, listening to the sound of your horse's hooves on the dirt. But the best part isn't what you can do, it's what you feel. The weight of every decision, the way Arthur changes, the way the gang starts to crumble, the way the story slowly tightens around you like a noose. And when the final moments hit, they don't just make you sad, they break you. The kind of heartbreak that stays in your chest long after the credits roll. Red Dead Redemption 2 isn't just one of the best games ever made, it's one of the best stories ever told. The Witcher 3. Geralt of Rivia isn't a hero, he's not trying to save the world, he's just looking for someone he cares about, and along the way, he gets pulled into wars, monster hunts, and choices that never feel easy. The world again is just big. Villages burn from battles, kings plot against each other, people struggle to survive. One day you're riding through a peaceful field, the next you find bodies hanging from trees, war camps filled with soldiers, or a hidden cave where something ancient and evil is waiting. Nothing feels random. Every place has a story. And those stories? They're incredible. A simple side quest isn't just go kill this monster. It's a tragic love story, a curse tied to an old betrayal, or a mystery where the real villain isn't the beast, it's the people. Even a random peasant on the side of the road might lead you into something deeper than expected. Combat is brutal and satisfying. Swords alone won't save you. You dodge, parry, use magic, prepare potions, and think before you fight. Every enemy has a weakness. A vampire won't go down the same way as a werewolf, and rushing in without a plan, that's how you die. The choices you make actually matter. Save a person now and they might come back to help, or maybe what you thought was the right choice ruins someone else's life. There's no clear good or bad, just your decisions and their consequences. And then there's the music. Haunting, emotional, unforgettable. Whether you're standing in the middle of a battlefield or walking through a quiet, snow-covered village, the soundtrack sets the mood perfectly. The Witcher 3 isn't just a game, it's one of the best stories ever told in gaming. Every moment, every character, every decision pulls you in, and when it finally ends, you feel it.
The good will die.
God of War Ragnarok. Kratos has fought many battles, but this one is different. Ragnarok is coming and the world is falling apart. He just wants to protect his son, but fate keeps pushing him into war. Atreus is older now and he has questions. He wants to know who he really is, what his future holds, and why the gods fear him. But looking for answers means taking risks, and those risks bring Odin, Thor, and all of Asgard to their doorstep. The combat feels incredible. The Leviathan axe is heavy and hits hard. The Blades of Chaos are fast and deadly. New weapons bring new ways to fight, and every hit feels powerful. Enemies are tougher, smarter, and more aggressive. You don't just swing wildly, you dodge, block, and strike at the right moment to survive. The world is massive. You visit all 9 realms and each one feels unique. Snowy mountains, deep forests, burning lands. Every place has secrets to find, people to help, and enemies to fight. And the gods, Odin isn't just an enemy. He's manipulative, always watching, always planning. Thor is not just a brute, he's a man full of anger and regrets. Kratos, once known only for rage, is now trying to be better, but his past keeps following him. The story is emotional, it's about family, fate, and the choices we make. Some moments are huge with massive battles and epic fights, others are quiet, showing how much these characters have changed. And when it all ends, you feel it. God of War Ragnarok isn't just a sequel, it's a powerful ending to Kratos' story. Everything about it is bigger, better, and more emotional, a game that deserved every bit of hype.